As part of its mandate in honing effective learning culture in a qualitative environment, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Tetfund, recently completed a good number of infrastructural projects in some Nigerian tertiary institutions. The move, which was being widely lauded by various stakeholders in the educational sector, is another feather in the cap of the ceaseless interventionist whose record of promoting all-encompassing quality education in Nigeria's tertiary educational realm is worth commending. 3 institutions, namely Joseph Suruwan Taka University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State, Federal College of Education, Kano, Kano State, and Federal College of Education, Obudu, Cross River State, all had varied projects completed lately to the delight of students, lecturers, and other well-wishers.
In terms of intervention, Tetfund is committed to delivering value. There's a lot of money going into the funding of projects, and this department has a mandate to follow up, to monitor on the delivery of those projects and to ensure that value is obtained for the money that is being spent. And as long as we exist in Tetfund, we remain the eye of the fund, and we'll ensure that that value is delivered. And for whatever reason, we will stick to our standards and ensure that standards are adhered to strictly, specifications are complied with strictly in the course of monitoring our projects. So that we will not compromise. We will ensure value delivery, and we ensure that there is value for money that is expended. Interestingly, we had about 13 beneficiary institutions listed out for commissioning, and that's because of the satisfactory completion of their projects, and which we also regard as iconic, and impressive, and fairly impressive. Let me put it like that. 4 of them have been commissioned so far, and those are the institutions at Obudu. That's Federal College of Education, Obudu, and also that of the university in Makurdi, University of Agriculture, that's Joseph J.S. Taka University in Makurdi. Also, FCE in Kano, Federal College of Education in Kano, and of recent, the College of Education at Akwanga in Nasarawa State. So these ones have been these projects listed out for commissioning have all been commissioned, and it all went well.
The completed project for the J.S. Taka University of Agriculture, Makurdi, include laboratory/workshop block for Entrepreneurship Development Center, a female hostel, a male hostel, Academy Office for College of Agronomy. In inaugurating the project, President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR noted that the facilities will not only provide the plank for reinvigorating the vocational and entrepreneurial skills within the state, but also buoy the quality of academic teaching and learning in the university. The Commander-in-Chief, ably represented by the Chairman, House Committee on Tertiary Education, Honorable Aminu Suleiman Goro, affirmed education plays a vital role in the socio-economic life of any nation and reiterated the current administration's commitment to keep investing in the educational sector for meaningful and sustained national growth and development. He also had words to say about the excellent performance of Tetfund in the infrastructure provision, academic staff and training, book publication, research and development, among others.
It is indeed more heartwarming and great privilege that I'm here not only in my capacity as the chairman of the House Committee on Education, but as representative of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. I therefore wish to use this medium to express profound appreciation to the President for this opportunity and also commend him for his unwavering support to the development of the education sector, and in this case, Tetfund, a support I would say has culminated in a lot of success stories for the fund and its beneficiary institutions. Let me use this opportunity also to congratulate on behalf of the House of Representatives, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Richard Kambir, management, staff and students of this great university for this milestone achievement. I also wish to congratulate and commend Executive Secretary of Tetfund, Architect Sonny S.T. Chono and his team for their commitment toward discharging the mandate given to them by the fund and government. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to say that this epoch-making event is not only significant in the history of this university, but also provide more opportunities for the re-engineering of the state in the areas of vocational and entrepreneurship skills. Education, as we all know, plays a vital role in the socio-economic development of every nation. There is therefore no doubt that the commissioning of this Tetfund-sponsored project in this institution will not only enhance teaching and learning, but also contribute to the improvement of academic standards. Let me reiterate that this administration sees education as a key aspect of growth and development, and that is why it forms an integral part of Mr. President's administrative agenda.
The Benue State Governor Samuel Otom, in his address, commended the efforts of Tetfund in supporting the Agric University and all other public tertiary institutions statewide. The governor, represented by the State Commissioner of Education, Sarwan Tanongo, also stressed that the agency's myriad of activities have brought so much development to the nation's public tertiary educational space and encouraged Tetfund to continue its good works.
The commissioning of Tetfund project in Joseph Sawu Antaka University, Makudi, today is a significant milestone in the quest to mitigate the infrastructural deficit in the institution of higher learning in the country. As a federal government agency that is working hard to meet its responsibility of disbursing, managing and monitoring the Education Tax Fund for the development of public tertiary institutions in Nigeria to compete favorably with its counterparts worldwide, the intervention of Tetfund in the provision and maintenance of physical infrastructure, scholarship and academic staff training, research and development, publications, equipment and infrastructural materials has impacted greatly on critical areas of needs of the institution for improved standard, quality and responsibility. In other words, the additional funds provided by Tetfund to facilitate scholarship and grant has succeeded in achieving its cardinal objectives for improved productivity, enhanced service delivery, and standards of education.
Speaking at the well-attended, epoch-making event, the Executive Secretary of Tetfund, Architect Sonny S.T. Chono, said the newly commissioned projects were constructed via the 2015-2018 merged normal intervention funds and hinted that many other projects dotting 12 locations across the country are also in the pipeline to be commissioned soon.
And as the university is in the process of transition from a university of agriculture to a conventional university, but with also special focus on agriculture, we are particularly delighted with the 4 projects being commissioned today. As we are told, One of them is this facility, which is an academic building for the College of Agronomy, the key focus of the university in its mandate. There are 2 hostels, one female, one male, that directly addresses the welfare of our students. And the 4th one is of particular interest to me because we at Tetfund, under our new paradigm, we are trying to focus on entrepreneurship. So the workshop and laboratory for entrepreneurship education is something that is very dear to us because we believe that the way forward to address issues of employment and wealth creation is to imbibe in our students the spirit, the culture of entrepreneurship, so that our graduates will be self-employing and they will not need to queue for government employment, but rather will become creators of wealth for our people as they activate all the various opportunities that they find in the environment.
Tetfund has invested over 8 billion naira on 40 impactful projects at the J.S. Tharka University of Agriculture since 1999. The fund has also sponsored 197 lecturers for doctorate degrees, 85 for master's degrees, and 13 scholars on bench work, with an additional 430 staff sponsored for various conferences. The fund has also completed 4 projects totaling 759.53 million naira for the Federal College of Education, Kano. They are Acculturation Center, expansion of Arts and Social Sciences, expansion of the Department of Mathematics and Computer Sciences, construction of School of Adult Special and Non-Formal Education. At the commissioning ceremony anchored by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, representing Kano North Senatorial District Senator Barau Jibrin, commended Tetfund for its timely intervention in boosting the school's infrastructural facilities, whilst also expressing his delight at the quality of the completed projects.
Let me begin by commending Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, and the Minister of Education, and indeed the Executive Secretary of Tetfund for all they've been doing in making sure that Tetfund is able to perform its statutory functions effectively. Because we've seen the number of interventions that Tetfund has made so far since the inception of this administration in all the institutions of higher learning in the whole country, the entire country. Interventions have been unprecedented. We've seen how fiscal infrastructures have been put in place across this country, across institutions in the entire country.
Students, teachers, administrators, and other stakeholders of the Federal College of Education, Obudu II, had cause to celebrate the completion of several projects that had been in the works. The projects for which a sum of 274 million naira was committed include a science complex consisting of 6 laboratories, 29 offices, 1 auditorium, a gym hall, and a story building comprising 4 classroom blocks and 10 offices. Standing in for President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR at the inauguration, the Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godi Jediagba, complimented the efforts of Tetfund for its sustained support for public apex educational institutions, and also gave kudos to the school in delivering the projects on time and for utilizing the resources available to them judiciously. Jediagba stated that apart from lifting the general ambience of the institution, the project will enhance teaching and learning amongst lecturers and students, urging the institution to maintain the projects appropriately as a way of encouraging the government to do more. The minister said that the satisfactory completion of the project was a testament to the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration to improve infrastructural development in tertiary institutions in the country.
These facilities put here are not for fancy. They are for use by our children so as to propagate more education and enlighten us further. We can be like other communities all over the world. We can be, we must be, and we shall be. Amen. So I urge us to put into effective use this beautiful edifice and other community projects we commissioned today. And if we look forward to more projects, we should use these ones effectively so the President and Tetfund will be impressed by what you have done and they will give us more. Not be so?
Cross River State Governor Senator Ben Ayade, in his comments, lauded Tetfund for all its intervention in all states of the Federation since its inception. The governor, represented by the State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Gordon Amanke, said the framers of the Tetfund's law should be saluted as their excellent vision has brought immense development to public tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Tetfund's Executive Secretary, Architect Sonny S.T. Echono, noted that the projects were executed via the 2015-2018 Merged Intervention Funds. Architect Echono, represented by the Director of Monitoring and Evaluation, Architect Babatunde Olajide, said the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has brought a remarkable thrust to tertiary education development throughout Nigeria, not only through statutory funding, but also via intervention agencies in the mold of Tetfund. For some time now, the Bureau of Public Procurement (BPP), charged by law to superintend over all federal government public procurement processes, has been expressing its displeasure over the flagrant disregard of procurement rules by several public tertiary institutions. To arrest this anomaly, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Tetfund, recently sponsored a retreat for the benefit of vice-chancellors, rectors and provosts in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education respectively in 3 locations across the country. The overall objective is to equip participants with the requisite skills necessary in enshrining good procurement practices in their various institutions. At the workshop opened in Kano for participants from the Northwest Zone, the Executive Secretary of Tetfund, Architect Sonny S.T. Echono, stressed that beneficiaries of its interventions will be fully compelled to comply with the dictates of the public procurement process as dictated in Section 20, Subsection 1 of the Bureau of Public Procurement Act 2007. The Executive Secretary maintained that adherence to the procurement procedures has become pertinent to ensure competitiveness, professionalism, accountability, transparency, and cost-effectiveness in the award of Tetfund-sponsored contracts.
Our beneficiaries as public institutions are therefore required by law to comply with the provisions of this Act in their procurement processes. While Tetfund is fully conscious and aware of the enormous tasks and responsibilities of the Bureau in respect of this Act, several officials of our public tertiary institutions are not fully conversant with the laid down procedures, standards, and processes with regards to the award and execution of public contracts in line with the Act. As encapsulated in the vision and mission of the Tetfund, to be a world-class interventionist agency, the fund is committed to the provision of quality intervention projects that generations of Nigerians will benefit from. I will therefore ensure that best practices are deployed in the execution of its various intervention projects nationwide. To achieve this, the fund considers as priority the adherence to the public procurement reforms established by the government. It is only by doing so that our intervention projects and programs will outlive us, and history will remember us as those entrusted with the power to determine the future of this country, and as people that put forth the nation's interest above personal interest. We are at a critical stage in the process of nation building, especially in our current resource-constrained environment, and must not relent or compromise in the discharge of our onerous duties and responsibilities.
Addressing participants at the 3-day capacity building workshop, the Director General of the Bureau for Public Procurement, Alhaji Maman Amadu, outlined the fundamental procurement principles according to Section 16 of the Procurement Act and stressed procurement plans must be supported by prior budgetary appropriation. According to him, the process of awarding contracts should always be formalized, and it is not until the funds to meet obligations are available that competitive bidding can commence.
We are here today to build the capacity of the accounting officers, principal officers, public officers, and other key players in the procurement value chain of our tertiary education institutions. The essence of this program is to equip participants with the vital skills that are necessary to ensure that good procurement practices are entrenched in our respective institutions. Another objective that the retreat tends to achieve is to enhance probity, accountability, transparency, to attain cost effectiveness and professionalism in the procurement proceedings in our tertiary education institutions.
To underscore the importance Tetfund attaches to the all-important BPP training, the Interventionist-in-Chief ensured similar workshops were organized in Lagos and Enugu for participants from beneficiary institutions located in the Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. Education Minister Malam Adamu, immediate past chairman of Tetfund Board of Trustee Kashim Ibrahim Imam, erstwhile Tetfund Executive Secretary Professor Elias Bogoro, and current Executive Secretary of the Tetfund, Architect Soni St. Chiono, were part of the beneficiaries of the national awards conferred on 438 individuals recently by the President and Commander-in-Chief Muhammadu Buhari. Whilst Malam Adamu was honored with the Commander of the Order of the Niger, Kashim Ibrahim Imam, bagged Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic OFR, Suleiman Elias Bogoro, and current Tetfund steerman, Architect Soni St. Chiono, were both conferred with the Officer of the Order of the Niger OON, respectively. The four of them, from the education family, were in the company of other proud recipients spanning politicians, businessmen, monarchs, public officials, security officers, religious leaders, musicians, and many others who have distinguished themselves in their chosen fields of endeavor and have contributed and are still contributing their quotas to the socio-economic development of Nigeria as a nascent emerging nation. Congratulations are therefore in order for the honored, and the awards also consider a win for past and present management who have all labored tirelessly in lifting the Tetfund to the loftiest of heights every stakeholder is proud of today.